Welcome to the public kickoff meeting for the Amtrak AutoTrain Gateway Improvements Project Development and Environment, or PD&E, study. This presentation provides an overview of the project and the anticipated schedule for the study, followed by a brief summary of the project background and history. Next, we will review the planning and PD&E study process, followed by an overview of how public outreach is being conducted. The final portion of tonight's presentation will summarize the key project issues and review the goals and objectives that will guide the study as alternatives are developed and evaluated. Contact information for the study team is provided at the end of the presentation, and we are here tonight to help answer your questions. We encourage your participation and look forward to talking with you. This PD&E study is federally funded and is being conducted by the Florida Department of Transportation in association with the City of Sanford. Most traditional PD&E studies focus on the planning of improvements to a particular roadway from point A to point B. This project is unique because the study area is considered the overall transportation network surrounding the Amtrak AutoTrain station, rather than a specific roadway between two known points. The study area shown on this map is generally bordered by Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard on the west, First Street on the north, Pecan Avenue on the east, and McCracken Road on the south. The study area is being evaluated to identify a set of improvement options that can be evaluated further. Depending on the type and location of the improvement alternatives that will be evaluated during the study area limits may be revised. The PD&E study is focused on developing a plan for future transportation improvements that meet the mobility needs within the study area. This is the first phase in the project development process. After the study is complete and the next phase can be funded, the recommendations will be advanced into the design phase, which is followed by right-of-way acquisition if needed, and then construction. The entire process can take several years, depending on the nature of the improvement recommendations and available funding to complete the project. Currently, the only phase that is fully funded is the PD&E study. As this project progresses, FDOT will be working with agency partners to identify potential funding sources to advance future phases. Tonight's public kickoff meeting is the first of 3 public meetings that will be held during the PD&E study. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to introduce the PD&E study and provide an opportunity for the public to interact with the project team. We are very interested in hearing your suggestions and are looking forward to receiving this input. The next public meeting will be the Alternatives Public Meeting, which is anticipated for the fall of 2013. The third event will be a public hearing anticipated for the spring of 2014. The proposed schedule for the PD&E study is approximately 18 months. The project started in late November 2012 and is anticipated to be completed by late spring 2014. The schedule shows some of the key milestones for the study and the current level of progress to date. Since the project began, the study team has focused on collecting data, analyzing traffic and other existing conditions, and meeting with various project stakeholders, including community leaders and agency partners. These efforts have provided a better understanding of the key issues surrounding this project. Located just south of State Road 46 along Persimmon Avenue, Amtrak's AutoTrain provides express service between Sanford, Florida, and Lorton, Virginia, a suburb of Washington, D.C. The AutoTrain service is unique because it serves only passengers with vehicles and is separate from the standard Amtrak passenger service. The AutoTrain terminal as it exists today is shown here. This facility opened in late 2010. These photos represent what the AutoTrain terminal looked like prior to 2010, before federal funds were appropriated in 2007 to develop a new terminal facility and other on-site improvements. While Amtrak was developing their plans, the City of Sanford identified an additional need for improvements to the surrounding transportation network. To further explore this need and develop a more complete understanding of the issues, the City of Sanford completed a rail facilities access study in 2008. This evaluation included an assessment of existing conditions and brainstorming of potential alternatives. The primary purpose was to identify a range of planning level costs and impacts associated with different types of transportation improvement options. The 2008 study also identified a short-term project to address traffic congestion along Persimmon Avenue associated with the AutoTrain. The recommendations included widening Persimmon Avenue to provide additional turn lanes and to complete the sidewalk along both sides of the roadway. The City of Sanford advanced the design and permitting for these improvements and worked with FDOT to secure state funding for construction. These improvements to Persimmon Avenue will be constructed this year and are separate from the longer-term solutions being evaluated by the current PD&D study. The PD&D study process involves a blending of planning, environmental analyses, and public involvement to identify improvements that are technically sound and affordable, environmentally sensitive, and publicly acceptable. The key elements of the PD&D process include data collection, engineering analysis of alternatives, including the no-build alternative, environmental evaluations, public and agency involvement, and selection of a preferred alternative. The initial phase of the PD&D study that is currently ongoing focuses on community outreach and stakeholder coordination, data collection, identification of issues and opportunities, defining the guiding principles, and reinforcing the project purpose and need. Public involvement is a major factor in the decision-making process for a PD&D study. These efforts include opportunities for the public, local stakeholders, and agencies to review the alternatives being considered and provide input into the planning process. We have identified a number of community stakeholders within the study area, such as those listed here. We have already begun reaching out to the community and will continue to engage the local community and the general public throughout the study process. Since the study began, the project team has participated in meetings and public events listed here. The agency kickoff meeting was conducted in mid-February. The project introduction was provided in late February at Commissioner Velma Williams' monthly community meeting. In late March, we also presented the Front Porch Council's think tank meeting. And in mid-April, the project was presented to the city's steering committee for their ongoing citywide planning study referred to as Imagine Sanford. This PD&D study is being coordinated with the Imagine Sanford efforts, and representatives from the city's planning team are also in attendance at tonight's meeting. They will be available to answer questions regarding this effort. A Project Advisory Group, PAG, is being formed, which will consist of agency and community representatives who wish to take an active role in the project. The study team will seek guidance and input from the PAG throughout the alternatives development and evaluation process. Members of the PAG will also be called upon to help engage and inform the community about the project. The goal of the PAG is to help FDOT develop transportation solutions that meet the future mobility needs of the community. Understanding the project begins with the identification of transportation issues and opportunities within the study area. The primary issues are caused by the long-term track blockages created by AutoTrain operations. As alternatives are developed to address this issue, opportunities for transportation solutions to enhance the community will also be considered. Transportation facilities can play an important role in helping to foster economic development by encouraging investments within the community. This will involve taking a big-picture look at the overall transportation network, considering connectivity between public facilities, as well as existing and planned transit improvements such as Sunrail, Link service, and the city's downtown shuttle. We will also coordinate with the Housing Authority to consider any future plans for the vacant public housing, recognizing the potential need for transportation improvements to serve these community assets. The vision for this project is to provide safe and efficient multimodal connectivity within the study area. Improving accessibility for all modes serves to enhance the surrounding community and encourage economic development. The desired role of the transportation facilities within the study is to provide local connectivity as well as to facilitate regional access to the Amtrak AutoTrain and Sunrail stations. Understanding the primary users of the transportation system is also important as we develop solutions to meet their needs. The current users of the transportation network include Amtrak AutoTrain and Sunrail passengers, local residents, industry and business, pedestrians and transit users, bicyclists, tourists, and other visitors to the area. The purpose of this project is to provide a safe and efficient multimodal transportation network that is consistent with the vision of the area and minimizes the effects of Amtrak AutoTrain operations on the surrounding community. Enhancements within the study area are needed to provide improved mobility for all modes of transportation, including vehicles, pedestrians, bicycles, and transit users. The need for this project centers around the issues created by the AutoTrain operations. These include long-term track blockages at Persimmon Avenue twice daily, which impacts mobility and access. Pedestrians observed crossing the tracks between the northern and southern portions of the study area. During times when the track is blocked by the AutoTrain, pedestrians have been observed crossing between rail cars to get from one side to the other, which is a significant safety concern. Transportation improvements are important to advance the city's long-term planning vision. Improving accessibility and enhancing overall mobility for all modes encourages economic development and growth. Guiding principles for this project that support the purpose and need include enhancing multimodal mobility access, efficiency, and safety while accommodating local and regional traffic within the study area. Minimizing the effect of Amtrak AutoTrain railroad operations to improve safety and network operations. Finding opportunities to provide compatibility with planned transportation improvements in the study area, such as Sunrail, and establishing interagency support for a plan that allows for the development and implementation of transportation solutions that support public and private investment to maximize return and minimize implementation timelines. The study will soon begin to identify alternatives. This graphic illustrates the process that will be used to focus in on a specific set of improvement recommendations. In the initial step at the top of the funnel, a brainstorming of concepts and other ideas are considered by the study team. An initial evaluation is then conducted to develop a long list of potential alternatives. As part of this process, some of the ideas could get blended together into a single concept as indicated by the multicolored balls. It's also important to note that the no-build or do-nothing alternative is carried all the way through the PD&E process. As the project alternatives make their way through the evaluation process, they are further reduced to a final set of alternatives that are presented at the alternatives public meeting. In the final stage of the process, the recommended preferred alternative is presented at the public hearing and compared with the no-build option. This is the last step in the alternatives evaluation process shown at the bottom of the funnel. Based on input received at the public hearing, the study will either recommend the build alternative or the no-build alternative. The documentation for the PD&E study will then be finalized and submitted to the Federal Highway Administration for approval, which will complete the study. At this early stage of the project, no formal alternatives have been identified. However, based on our current understanding of the project issues and guiding principles, the study team anticipates developing alternatives that consider improving bicycle and pedestrian access and connectivity within the study area, providing increased access to transit service, consideration of either at-grade or grade-separated crossings of the railroad, and, as mentioned previously, the no-build or do-nothing alternative will be considered a viable option throughout the alternatives evaluation process. In addition to longer-term improvement strategies, the PD&E study may identify some lower-cost options that could be implemented within a shorter timeline. One such near-term improvement would be to utilize a flashing sign that would alert motorists that the Persimmon Avenue crossing is blocked. The concept depicted here is at the Persimmon Avenue intersection with McCracken Road. The photo is looking north along Persimmon Avenue, which emphasizes that the railroad crossing cannot be easily seen at this distance. A sign installation, such as the one shown here, could be utilized to let approaching vehicles know that the train is currently blocking the road. When the driver sees the sign flashing, they would know to choose an alternate route. The map shown here shows how a vehicle traveling northbound on Persimmon Avenue would see the flashing sign and take advantage of the opportunity to turn left onto westbound McCracken Road, then turn right onto northbound Airport Boulevard, where they can access State Road 46 without a lengthy delay. Use of this simple sign installation would help eliminate U-turns at the blocked crossing and reduce driver frustration. This is just an example of one potential solution that could be blended together with longer-term improvement strategies as the study advances. We value your input and welcome your involvement in the PD&E study process. We encourage you to talk to study team members at the meeting tonight to discuss your issues or concerns. We also have comment forms available at the sign-in table. This is an excellent way to communicate your thoughts, concerns, and ideas to the study team. Please fill out a comment form and leave it in the comments box or mail it to the address on the back by June 17, 2013. If you are interested in participating as a member of the Project Advisory Group, please talk to a member of the study team. We also hope that you will attend future public meetings where we will continue to provide community updates. If you put your email address or mailing address on the sign-in sheet, you will be notified about future public meetings. You can also visit our project website for project updates and study-related materials at www.sanfordautotrainstudy.com. You may contact any of the project team members listed here if you need more information or would like to request a small group meeting for your organization. Thank you for attending tonight's public meeting. We are looking forward to receiving your input and encourage you to stay involved as this project moves forward.